In this session, we're going to be talking about something that's a little different. Well, actually a lot different, because we've been talking about angles and squares and circles and all of these things. But today we're going to talk about order of operations. Now don't let the long name scare you, because what that simply means is that there's an order in which mathematical equations need to be solved. And one of the best ways to do that is to remember what's called Pemdas. Now some people put to that and say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and that may make it easier to remember. But what this means is, with the P and the E, you do those first. This is the parentheses and the exponents. So when you see an equation and you see some parentheses, you work what's in that first, and then you do the exponents. And you do those, when you see them, left to right. The MD is multiplication and division. You do that next, but you do those when you see them left to right. And the last thing you do in the equations is you add and subtract. And again, when you see those, you do them left to right. So here we have an equation that says 8 times 2 times, and in parentheses, 9 times 5. Then outside the parentheses, plus 38 minus 16. So according to the rules of order of operations, the first thing we do is we multiply the 9 times 5. And as we know, that equals 45. So what we're going to do then is we're going to multiply the 8 times 2, and you know that gets 16. So our problem now is 16 times 45 plus 38 minus 16. So we multiply the 16 times 45, and we figure that out over here. You can always do the figuring on the side, that doesn't matter. 6 times 5 is 30. Put down your 0, carry your 3. 6 times 4 is 24. 20 plus 3 is 27. And then you have your placeholder 0. Then you put your 5 here. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 4 is 4. So for this, you get 720 plus 38. So you add that together. That's 758. So you put the 758 here, and then you subtract the 16. So 758 minus 16 gives us 742, and that's the answer to this equation. But that's because we did them in the right order. If you went ahead and just went straight across, you would most likely come out with a different number. And that's the reason for the principle of order of operations and our acronym PEMDAS.